What's up, everybody? This is T from T-Dubb BBQ. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you for tuning in. If this is not your first time, thank you for returning. So I'm often asked how to grill, and today I decided to do a very simple video on how to grill some chicken. And so hopefully at the end of this video, you'll learn something new. It's very simple, very easy. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Speaking of the comments, please make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and make sure you share. We really appreciate that. So like I said, today's video is going to be very simple. We're just doing some chicken, and I'm going to show you guys how to prepare your chicken and how to light up your grill. And we're going to have some fun, so see you in a little bit. Here we have a pack of leg quarters, and want to get these out the pack, get these cleaned up and ready for seasoning. Leg quarters are very simple. It's a very good cut because you have the thighs, which are very flavorful. If you're marinating something, that thigh is really going to absorb that marinade and it's going to give you great flavor. So, leg quarters today, that's 4 leg quarters in this pack. If you cut them up, it'll be 8 pieces of chicken. So, this is a good buy. This is really good for a small get together. If you get 2 packs, it's good for a nice size get together because 2 packs has 16 pieces of chicken. So, gonna get these cleaned up and get it seasoned. I'm back real quick to show you guys what's on the other side. This is just some loose pieces of fat. You want to get that nice and trimmed up. When you get these, see, look at that. That's a big piece of fat. You just want to get that trimmed off. You want to get this cleaned out. Get it nice and cleaned up. And I know there's a big debate about washing your chicken. Should you not? We wash our chicken here, so this chicken will be washed up as well as cleaned up next time you see me. Today we'll be using different rubs. Sometimes I like to mix it up. Sometimes I like to season two a particular way and then season the other two another way. But today on these two, we're going to use Cookout Dust by Jonathan BBQ. Some really good stuff, man. Check this out. This is a rub that I got most recently. And what we're going to do here, we're just going to drizzle on some olive oil and get it on here. See, I got these nice and cleaned up. I didn't go overkill with the trimming, but I did trim off the loose pieces of skin. Anything that just didn't look too hot. Because you want your presentation of what you're cooking to be pretty nice as well. Okay, so all we're gonna do is just and make sure you pull the skin back and season underneath. I cannot stress that enough. Season underneath the skin so you can really get that total flavor. Season this other side. And then see I didn't trim this off, but you more than welcome to trim this piece off right here if you want, but I don't trim it off. Just make sure you're covering it and patting. Don't rub. I know it's called rub, but you want to pat it into your protein. In this case, your protein would be chicken. And I want to get underneath here as well. Um, I personally don't like pulling it all the way off. Some people do, but if I can kind of leave it attached in places, I kind of open up some and just get some seasoning in here as well. And repeat the same process over here. That skin back, Get underneath that skin, pat it in there, get the skin. You can do this in whatever order you like. If you want to start the skin side down, that's perfectly fine. Probably work out better since the top side is your presentation side, but you do it however you like. And if you prefer seasoning your chicken in a bowl, that's perfectly fine. I don't always use this pan. Sometimes I put it in a bowl, but for the purposes of this video, I'm seasoning in this tray. And that's nice and seasoned. And so next I'm going to season the other two. So for these next two, I'm going to use a combination of rubs. I got these two from the Darren W. Carter, Carter's Barbecue. He has a garlic and herb seasoning, as well as a pork and chicken rub. So I'm going to put both of these on here. This time I'm going to start on the non-presentation side. Get that nice and coated, and these rubs are fantastic by themselves, but I'm telling you, if you get your hands on these, try them together. It's a really good combination. This other side. And with these, I did not coat them with olive oil for no other reason than I simply forgot. So that's the other thing about when you're doing a combination of things. Sometimes you think you've done something and you didn't. But hey, that's fine. Just gonna get this other side here. This is seasoned up. Flip that over. And underneath that skin. Hit them with the combo. Come back over here a little more. Okay, and so now what I'll be doing is just, I'm going to get all four pieces in the refrigerator for a couple hours. You want to do 3 to 4 hours when you're seasoning like this in the refrigerator. If you can do it overnight, that's even better because you give the seasoning and the rubs time to actually penetrate the meat. So 3 to 4 hours, I'm gonna get them in the refrigerator. I'm probably gonna have, looking at the time, probably about 5 or 6 hours, but we'll see. And next time you see me, guys, we'll be out at the pit. I'm using a Weber Kettle, and I don't know if you can see here, but right here is a rail, and right there is another rail. So Weber used to come with baskets, but they replaced the basket with char rails. And so for this particular cook, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the middle of the grill as my cool side. And the cool side is just the non-direct heat side. And I'm going to put the coals on the other sides. But how I'm going to light my coals today is I'm going to use a chimney starter. So I'm going to get this chimney filled up. About probably about full. Just here, and I got one that fell. Let's throw that back in there. But how I'm gonna light this is I'm gonna get this a tumbleweed starter here. So I'm gonna get that lit up. a little closer to the edge. You see how fast that lights? Put it on top and let it go. This is a much better alternative to lighter fluid. If you don't have starter tumbleweed or starter cubes, you can drizzle some oil, some cooking oil on a paper towel, put it underneath. If you don't have a chimney, you could just light it in the pile. I'll put a little video in the corner, but real simple. Just get it lit up. Some people wait until the coals ash completely over. I'm not one of those people. I think I wait until it gets about halfway before I get started. But I'm gonna let these go a little bit, and next time you see me, we'll be ready to go. All right, so we're back, and the smoke is pretty much cleared out. That's when I like to dump my chimney, when that smoke pretty much clears out. Because I have two sides going on, I'm gonna have to be a little strategic on how I dump this. Got a glove here, just a little cheap glove, safety first. Over here, dump some over here. So as you can see, more are lit on the right side than the left side. So all I'm gonna do is just get this spread around. Got an extra set of time. So basically I'm just gonna kind of maneuver these around. And once this gets going, everything will be pretty even. If you're just doing one side, of course you don't have to worry about this, but for this particular cook, I want to use both sides here. So what we're going to do is we're going to also I forgot to mention, this bottom vent is wide open. And so what we're going to do now is just make sure this vent is wide open here as well. Put that lid on. As we're doing chicken, we want to be above 350. 350 is a nice sweet spot. So I'm gonna let that come up to about 350. Then we're gonna get the chicken on. Okay, so we were at about 375, but I had the lid open. Your temperature is gonna drop, of course, when you have the lid open, but I had the lid open and we added a drip pan for easy cleaning. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna start it off on the bottom side down first. Um, you don't have to. You can do it either way. Some people start skin side first, and I start skin side first a lot, but today I'm just gonna do this bottom side first, and I'm just gonna let it get a little bit of charring. Put that lid down, and because these rubs have sugars in them, I'm not gonna let it go too long because I don't want it to burn up, but I do want it to get some type of charring. And so I'm just gonna let that go a couple of minutes and flip them over. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. I'm gonna take a little peek first. Oh yeah, you see I accidentally rubbed off some of the seasoning, but I have some right here, so I'm just gonna sprinkle it on there. The little part I missed, or the little part I rubbed off rather, because I didn't miss it. I'm gonna take a peek over here. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Pretty good over here too. Now I did not take these straight from the refrigerator. I let them sit on the counter for about 30 minutes to get close to room temperature. They weren't quite room temperature, so they're kind of cold. Your best results are going to come from when you have them at room temperature. So keep that in mind when you're refrigerating something. Let it sit out about an hour or so, or however long it takes to become room temperature, but don't let it sit out too long. Okay, so I'm gonna give these a flip, and I'm gonna grab on this end. A little, we're gonna get a little action on the other side. And close the lid down. And while that's going a couple of minutes, I'm going to just grab a couple of wood chunks in hand because when I flip this over, I'm going to put some wood chunks in to where I get the smoke flavor. Now, this is real simple. If wood chunks are too much for you, then you could very well do some wood chips. Wood chips are very simple, the easy way to get some flavor. So I'm gonna come back with some wood chips and see how that goes. Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes or so. So we're gonna take a look at these. Oh yeah, they can go a little longer. Yeah. And this is also a good time to know where your hot spots are. You can note that, I don't know if you can see, but the hot spot is pretty much right here. So those are the places you want to look out for if you're doing direct heat cooking or over the grill. I'm going to bring this a little closer. You want to keep an eye on that so that you won't burn your chicken. Don't let that go. Another couple of minutes and we're going to flip that over. All right, so we're going to take a look at this other side here. Yeah, I'm going to flip that over. All right, so we're going to give it a couple of minutes on this side and then we're going to move it to the center for indirect cooking. All right, so got the smoke rolling and I'm just going to pull these off to the indirect side. If you're doing the dual zone, then for you, of course, that would be one side. But like I said, in this particular cook, what I'm doing is I'm using the center as my indirect side. And so what I'm going to do, you have these grates, by the way, they're fantastic. Uh, is I'm going to put a couple of wood chips on both sides and close down the lid. And I'm going to let this roll for about 30, 40 minutes without looking at it. Now, so the next time you see me, it will be the next time I take a look at it. Of course, during this time, I'm going to be monitoring the temperature to see if there's some temperature spikes, and going to adjust my vents when necessary. But I have this bottom vent wide open, and I have the top vent wide open. Your bottom vent is going to be your intake. Top vent is going to be exhaust. So I'm going to let that run pretty much open. I may close it just a little bit if the temperature gets out of control, but I don't think I'll have any issues today, so it'll be fine. But the next time you see me, we'll be taking a look at this chicken. It'll be about 30 minutes from now. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes or so, so we're going to take a look. Oh, yeah, those got some real nice color. I got my temperature probe here. And I'm just going to check the internal temperature. Oh yeah, those are 184 on this one. 170. Oh yeah, these are ready to come off. Nice and juicy. You see the strip in there. But that is it, folks. Easy, simple, fast, and efficient leg quarters. So do yourself a favor, get yourself some leg quarters. If you have any questions on this cook, leave them in the comments. So like, subscribe for more, and share. And thank you for watching.